Hello everyone. Today we are going to begin with second semester of FYBSc Zoology paper second semester second cell biology. The course title is cell biology and the course code is ZO 122. So this particular course is having the syllabus according to the 2019 pattern choice based credit system similar to the semester 1. This course is also having weightage of 50 marks, and out of these 50 marks the 15 marks are for the internal assessment and 35 marks for the university examination. So, in this semester, we are going to study the course Cell Biology. The name of the course is Cell Biology, and the course code is ZO 122. So, today we are going to discuss about the syllabus or the contents of the syllabus of paper Cell Biology. So, first topic is introduction, which includes subtopics such as Introduction to Cell Biology, where we are going to study the definition, importance, or scope of the cell biology or different branches of cell biology. Then, second subtopic is cell as a basic unit of the life. So, the cell is very important structural and functional unit of living organism or a basic unit of life or all living organisms which are composed of the cells, and the cell is a very important basic unit of the life because without cell no life can exist or can appear or can survive without the particular structure or the function of the cell. Then third subtopic is importance of cell biology and its application in industry. So there are various applications of cell biology and which are applicable or useful for the mankind. Then overview of cells. So this particular topic in which we are going to study the fourth subtopic of the topic 1, that is introduction to prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. We are well known to the types of cells. There are mainly two types of cells found among the living organisms, that is either unicellular or multicellular organisms or plants, animals or microorganisms which are composed of two types of cells, and they are prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. So in this topic we are going to study the prokaryotic cells or a primitive type of cells, for example bacterial cells, or eukaryotic cells include the examples such as plant cells or the animal cells or the cells which are having a definite nucleus with a nuclear membrane or a true nucleus in the cells are called as eukaryotic cells. Then we are going to study the structure and function of prokaryotic cell or a bacterial cell, the genus species Escherichia coli. So in this topic we are going to study the structure and function of the E. coli or prokaryotic cell. Then structure and function of eukaryotic cells, where we are going to study the two type of cells of eukaryotic type, and they are animal cells or plant cells. Then second topic is techniques in cell biology. So in this topic also we are going to study the various aspects which are or the techniques or the certain principles or the methods which are useful in understanding of the cell or for the study of cell biology. So starting with its introduction, Then second subtopic is microscopy. So uh, the name itself indicates micro means uh, the very small or minute structures or microscopic structures which are invisible to the naked eye or which we can't see or observe with the naked eye, that can be seen or observed under the microscopes. So the microscopes these are very small structures or the minute structures, and can also become visible or can also be observed or seen under an equipments called as different type of microscopes. So we are going to study the basic principles of the microscope or microscopy, or a technique uh, which is useful for the observation or for the making microscopic or submicroscopic structures visible, uh, or the structures which cannot be seen or observed with the naked eye, that can be seen or observed by using these equipments or the microscopes with some basic principles, where we are going to study simple microscope, even the magnifying lens or the simple microscope, then compound microscope, and the applications of the simple or compound microscope, or even the structure and function of the electron microscope, or the applications of the electron microscope, how they are useful in observation or to study the different fine particles of the microscopic structures of the substances, or even various components of the cell, uh, so as to study them properly. So, for the proper study or a proper understanding of the cell or the cellular structures, there are different type of microscopes, and which are very useful for their observation or for their study, uh, so as to get the exact mechanisms, so as to get, or so as to get idea about the exact mechanisms of the cellular components, and thus the microscopy or the technique of microscopy or use of different type of microscopes is very useful for the study of cells or cell organelles or various cellular functions, that can also be studied with the help of these microscopes. Then next subtopic is stains and dyes. So stains and dyes, these are the different type of coloring agents or the dyes which are useful in giving a particular color to the cellular components, maybe cytoplasmic components or nuclear components or cells, which get colored by certain type of chemicals or colors, may be natural or synthetic, but are useful in coloring the cell or cellular components, so as to study them easily, so as to observe them easily. So for the differentiation of the various cellular components, we use to the different type of stains and dyes. So in this topic, we are going to study types of stains, where there are three type of stains, such as acidic stain, basic stains, or the neutral stains. So acidic stains, they are having affinity with the materials, or get attached or get colored in the acidic pH, or the basic dyes or the basic stains, which are usually getting colored with the acidic alkaline medium, or the neutral stains having affinity with both alkaline or acidic medium or the materials, so as to give them the particular color of the stain. So there are three types of stains: acidic stain, basic stain, or neutral stains, and which are useful for the coloring of different components or the materials or the organelles of the cell, so as to study them easily. So acidic stains, which are usually giving color to the cytoplasm or the cytoplasmic contents. Then basic stains usually gives color to the chromatin material or nuclear material or the chromosome or the nucleus itself. Then neutral dyes, they are having affinity with materials having uh, acidic as well as basic properties, acidic or basic properties of the pH, to which also the neutral dye is giving a particular color. Then we can also study the vital stains or the different dyes or the vital stains so as to give or so as to study the living cells, so as to color the living cells or so as to color the living objects or the various components in a living condition of the cells, and such stains are called as the vital stains or the dyes. So we are going to study different type of stains and dyes useful in study of the cells. So first important material to study the cell is the different type of microscopes, so as to make the cellular components or the materials visible with the help of the equipments like different type of microscopes. And secondly, we can use the different stains or the colors to the different components or the objects of the cells, so that uh, this will become easy to study the proper so as to study the cell or the cellular components properly with the help of different type of microscopes or microscopy and the staining techniques. Then next subtopic is micrometry. So in this topic we are going to study the methods for the measurement of the size of the different biomolecules. So with the help of technique of microtechnique, we can measure the diameter or the size of different components or the cells or cell organelles with the help of technique called as micrometry. So in this topic, we are going to study two type of micrometers, that is oculomicrometer and stage micrometer. Ocular and stage micrometer, or these two micrometers having uh, a specific segments with a scale, so as to measure the shape or size or the diameter of the different cellular components or different cells. So with the help of micrometry technique, microtechnique, we can measure the size of the cells or the diameter of the cells and other components of the cells. Then third topic is plasma membrane. So all the cells, all the cells, plant cells, animal cells, or even bacterial cells or prokaryotic cells, the cells of microorganisms like bacteria, which are composed of or which are enclosed or which are having a covering membrane called as a plasma membrane. So in this topic we are going to study a plasma membrane, that is a protective outermost protective covering of the cells or the cellular components called as a plasma membrane. So in this topic we are going to study its introduction, then structure of plasma membrane, that is a fluid mosaic model. Fluid mosaic model proposed by Singer and Nicholson, which we are going to study uh, under the heading of study of plasma membrane. That is a fluid mosaic model proposed by Singer and Nicholson. So this is a cell membrane or the plasma membrane, structure of plasma membrane or functions of the plasma membrane. Then next topic is transport across membranes. So this is very important subtopic, that is transport across membranes. So so as to continue, so as to maintain, so as to sustain, so as to regulate different activities of the cells or the tissues or organs and systems or the entire uh, organism altogether, their needs, the various components might be in the form of nutrients or oxygen, water, then vitamins, then cofactors. So there are different type of materials which are essential in the cell so as to carry out almost all activities of the cells. We know there are different type of tissues or four different type of tissues performing variable functions and having variable structures or the shape, size or the structures and which are suited or adapted to perform a particular type of function in the body or in even the particular system or in the organ, and that's why there are different type of cells performing different type of functions of the respective system or organs, and thus they requires some important materials, that is nutrients, oxygen, water, and that are not produced intracellularly, but these are supplied by the neighboring cells or through different parts of the or the body of the living organism. Might be the digestive system, respiratory system, which are meant for the supply of the nutrients or the oxygen to the cells. So the cellular membrane, that is the plasma membrane, which is a semi-permeable membrane or it is a permeable membrane, and which allows the passage of either free passage or active passage or the passive passage or the transport of the different biomolecules from the outside into the cell or from cell to the outside. So there are various type of uh, transport. There is a various type of transport of the biomolecules or the different materials which are essential for the cellular growth or functions or the normal functioning or survival of the cell. There requires number of important materials and which are supplied to the cells, which pass into the cell through the membranes or the plasma membrane or the cellular membrane, and there are various types or the modes of the transport of such materials through the plasma membrane, and they are active and passive transport, so active transport where there needs the energy so as to carry out the transport of certain biomolecules, uh, two-way transportation, that is inside to outside or outside to inside. So two-way transportation of the biomolecules take place either the methods of active transport or the passive transport. Then facilitated transport. So there are some sort of facilities, a type of facilities available in the plasma membrane and which is useful for the transport of these biomolecules. So facilitated transports. Then exocytosis, endocytosis. Exocytosis means there are certain vesicles or the materials or the cell organelles present in the cell or in the cytoplasm of the cell containing certain substances or the materials and which can be eliminated out across or through the plasma membrane called as exocytosis. Then endocytosis. So this is again importing or inward movement, outward and inward movement of the biomolecules through the mechanisms of exocytosis and endocytosis or phagocytosis. There are certain cells we know, the macrophages or the phagocytes, which are ingesting and digesting or ingesting and transporting or neutralizing the certain unfavorable components or the unwanted substances, might be the waste, toxins, and this can be neutralized by the even the pathogens or the disease causing agents which serve as the foreign antigen or the toxic materials or undesired substances whatever are present in the cell or entering in the cell that are ingested and digested or neutralized by the some cells called as phagocytes. So this particular mechanism is called as phagocytosis. Then phagocytosis or vesicles. Then and their importance in the transport. So phagocytic vesicles, which are also having great importance or its role in the transport of the different components of the cells to the outside or to the inside. Then other functions of the cell membrane in brief, such as protection, cell recognition, shape, then storage, cell signaling. So these are the some of the important functions which are also carried out by the plasma membrane. Then next point is cell junctions, tight junctions, gap junctions, desmosomes. So in between the adjacent cells or the neighboring cells, there are the continuous or the regular activities taking place in the form of transport of different biomolecules from cell to cell. So this particular transport or the transporting mechanism needs some sort of facilities, and that could be satisfied due to the presence of cell junctions, can be called as the tight junctions, gap junctions, or the desmosomes, which are the space or the channels, which are either the space present between the adjacent cells or maybe the channels present in between the cells, and which allow the passage of certain biomolecules from one cell to other cells. So such type of components of the cell, that is tight junctions, gap junctions, or the desmosomes, which also we are going to study in this topic. Then fourth topic is nucleus structure and function. Nucleus structure and function. So first we are going to explain the introduction to the nucleus, means how or what is the composition of the nucleus, how the nucleus is composed or made in the cell, or what are its composition or what are its components, and how it is important in the cellular activities or so as to carry out different cellular functions, how the nucleus is important. So in this topic we are going to study the introduction to the nucleus, then structure of nucleus, nuclear envelope, nuclear pore complex, nucleoplasm, nucleolus. So these are the important components or the parts of the nucleus, and which are useful in normal functioning of the nucleus. So nucleus is bounded by a membrane called as nuclear membrane or the nuclear envelope, which is provided with or possessing nuclear pore complexes or the perforations, a sort of perforations or the pores which allows the passage of biomolecules from cytoplasm of the cell to the nucleoplasm or nucleoplasm to the cytoplasm of the cells. So there is also a transport of the important materials from cytoplasm to nucleoplasm or vice versa through the nuclear envelope and nuclear pore complexes. Then nucleoplasm is again a dense semi-liquid, semi-solid substance present or enclosed inside of the nuclear envelope or nuclear membrane called as nucleoplasm, containing chromatin material or different type of RNAs or nucleolus. So these are the important materials present in the nucleoplasm, that is chromosomes or the chromatin material in the form of chromosomes. A basic set of chromosomes or the usual chromosome number of the particular species. So that much number of chromosomes present in the nucleoplasm, that is the chromatin material in the form of chromosomes. Then different type of RNAs or nucleolus and certain other dissolved substances present in the nucleoplasm that are studied under the heading of the structure of nucleus. Then nucleolus. Nucleolus is again a site of RNA synthesis consisting of ribosomes. So nucleolus then that is consisting of a ribosomes or different type of RNAs are produced by the nucleolus. So nucleolus is a conspicuous structure present in the nucleoplasm along with the chromosomal components. Then chromatin material. There are two types of chromatin: euchromatin and heterochromatin. That is, U means true chromatin material, and it is sometimes called as a loose form of the chromatin material, or active chromatin material, or DNA getting involved in the process of transcription and translation. And heterochromatin is some sort of false type of DNA, or inactive type of DNA, or the compact DNA, and which is not exposed to the surface, or not getting involved easily in the process of transcription and translation. So there are two types of chromatins present in the chromosomal components, that is euchromatin and heterochromatin, nature and differences. So and the next point, that is functions of nucleus. So functions of the nucleus is very important in the control and coordination of all activities of the cell. There is a nucleus, very important, that is a central main component, or the governing component of the cell, that is the nucleus. So whatever the cellular activities of the particular cell that are happening under the direction or the influence of the nuclear materials or the chromosomes. Then fifth topic, that is endomembrane system. So in addition to the plasma membrane or the nuclear membrane, in addition to the plasma membrane and the nuclear membrane, there is an endomembrane system. So there are important and major cell organelles present in the cytoplasm of the cells, and consisting of a membrane bound structures, or the important cell organelles which occupies the major space of the cytoplasm, and performing important functions of the cell, such as endoplasmic reticulum, or Golgi bodies, then lysosomes, vacuoles. So these are the endomembrane components or the system present in the cytoplasm of the cells. So we are going to study the endomembrane system found among different cell organelles, or endomembrane system representing different type of cell organelles or major important cell organelles, such as endoplasmic reticulum, including smooth endoplasmic reticulum or rough endoplasmic reticulum, which is meant for the process of protein synthesis or the storage of proteins or the enzymes produced by the particular part of the rough endoplasmic reticulum. Then smooth endoplasmic reticulum, then Golgi complexes, Golgi bodies. These are also very important in the process of either lipid metabolism, or the storage and supply, or the exportation of the materials or the different proteins secreted or produced, synthesized by the rough endoplasmic reticulum. So there is a sort of sequences, a type of sequence in the activity or the functioning of the endomembrane system, that is that is endoplasmic reticulum and the Golgi bodies. So just outside to the nuclear membrane, usually the cell possessing nucleus in the center, which is enclosed or enclosing or consisting of a well-defined or well-developed nuclear membrane. So just outside to the nuclear membrane of the nucleus, there is a large quantity of the endomembrane system in the form of endoplasmic reticulum, and then just outside to which there is a Golgi body. So endomembrane system mainly includes endoplasmic reticulum and the Golgi apparatus. So rough endoplasmic reticulum lies or situated just outside to the nuclear membrane and performing the process of protein synthesis. The dotted structures on the cisternae of the endoplasmic reticulum leads to the surface of rough, because of presence of dotted structures or the spots of the ribosomes, and thus the endoplasmic reticulum is the active component of the cell, important component of the cell, or a system mainly responsible for the synthesis of the variety of proteins required in the cell, or even that proteins can be exported from the respective cell to the outside, or to the tissues or organs wherever required in the body. So from the particular cell, these proteins are synthesized and then supplied to the outside through the plasma membrane. So rough endoplasmic reticulum then follows smooth endoplasmic reticulum and then the Golgi complex. So whatever the protein, fats, or the carbohydrate metabolism, the processes taking place in the either endoplasmic reticulum and the Golgi complexes. Then another structure, that is lysosomes. So these are also membrane-bound cell organelles called as lysosomes, which are the vacuole-like structures, and which stores the different type of chemicals or unwanted substances. Sometimes whatever the toxins or the harmful substances, undesired substances present in the cytoplasm, that are trapped or extracted and stored into the lysosomes, that is a membrane-bound cell organelles uh, which stores the large quantity of undesired substances. So, uh, called as lysosomes, and these are uh, possessing different type of hydrolytic enzymes also. So, on the bursting or breaking up of the lysosomes, all the components or most of the components of the cell cytoplasm can be neutralized or hydrolyzed or destroyed, and thus lysosomes are also called as suicidal bags of the cell, because these are responsible for the autolysis or the self-killing mechanism. Autolysis or self breakdown. Auto means self, lysis means breakdown. So autolysis of the cell, or the breaking down of different components of the cells, hydrolysis of different components or different biomolecules of the cell can occur due to the chemicals of the lysosomes. Maybe the enzymes or the hydrolytic enzymes, or some toxins or the harmful substances which are stored in the lysosomes. When released into the cell, that can lead to the death of the cell, or it can kill or cause the hydrolysis of the cell and cellular components of the cell death, called as suicidal bags of the cells. Then vacuoles. There are some vacuoles. In case of animal cells, there are less number of vacuoles, or vacuoles are microscopic or very small in size. But in case of plant cells, there are large number of vacuoles, and the size of the vacuole is also much larger, and thus this will lead to the increased size of the plant cells. So when we compare the size of the plant cells and animal cells, it is observed that the animal cells are smaller in size and plant cells are larger in size. So plant cells are larger or becoming larger because of presence of vacuoles, large sized vacuoles, which acquires a water in a larger quantities, and ultimately this will lead to the increased size of the cells. Then sixth topic is mitochondria and peroxisomes. So in this topic we are going to study the introduction to the mitochondria and peroxisomes, structure of ultrastructure or function of the mitochondria and the peroxisomes. We know the mitochondria are the uh, important cell organelle, and are mainly deals with or performing the role of the energy metabolism. So, and thus, whatever the energy required to the cell or to the organisms, so as to work, or so as to perform different functions like movement. So, this needs energy, and uh, this energy is supplied by the mitochondria to the cells. So, mitochondria are the powerhouse of the cells. Mitochondria is also called as a powerhouse of cell, as there are more than 60 enzymes. There are more than 60 enzymes present in the mitochondria or produced in the synthesized in the mitochondria, which are essential for the energy synthesis. And these all of these enzymes or the mitochondrial enzymes which are produced in the mitochondrion as it possesses its own DNA. Mitochondria possessing its own DNA, and under the direction of the mitochondrial DNA, number of enzymes are synthesized in mitochondria or kept or stored into the mitochondrial matrix, which are useful for energy metabolism or energy synthesis and provision of the energy to the cells. So mitochondria, we are going to study mitochondria or its ultrastructure and function in the as a subtopic of in a topic mitochondria. Then another important cell organelle, that is peroxisomes. So this peroxisome is also very important so as to neutralize the peroxides like H2O2 or hydrogen peroxide. So the peroxisomes are mainly responsible for reducing the peroxides, that is harmful to harmless substances. So transformation of harmful peroxide into the oxygen. Harmful peroxides which are present or produced in the cell that are simplified or that are transformed into the oxygen, that is a harmless substance, and this particular function is performed by the peroxisomes. Then last topic is cell division. So in this chapter, there are again that subtopic introduction, that is the scope or importance or the definition of the cell division. We know there are two types of cell divisions, that is mitosis and meiosis. So while either mitosis or the meiosis, there are some important activities or the steps or phases of the cell which are occurring regularly or sequentially in the cell, and this can be explained under the heading that is the cell cycle. So once the new cell is formed, once the cell divides and dividing into two daughter cells and forming new cells, so all of the cells which are formed during the growth or development of different organisms, the cells undergoes a regular mechanism or some sort of sequential events, some type of sequential events taking place in the cell after its formation. So when the cells are formed, they continue their sequential events in the cytoplasm or in the cells during their growth or during their lifespan. So this is called as a cell cycle, and this includes growth phase 1, G1 or gap 1, then synthetic phase, then G2 phase, then M phase or the mitotic phase or the dividing phase. So these are the sequential events happening in the cell regularly or sequentially or in a peculiar manner during the growth development, during the development or the growth of the cells called as a cell cycle. So there are four steps taking place one by one in the cell, that is G1, S, G2, M phases. So these are the different phases of the cell cycle, and this also includes the process of mitosis, or the during M phase of the cell cycle, the cell divides into two daughter cells called as mitosis and passing through the stages, that is interphase, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase, then cytokinesis, and dividing the cell into two daughter cells, which will again continue with the G1 phase, then again S phase, then again G2 phase, and cell become fully grown and capable of its next division by the process of mitosis. So process of mitosis taking place in the all type of cells. So during growth there is a mitosis. So all living organisms during growth they undergoes the cell division, that is a mitosis in all type of cells, that is somatic cells as well as reproductive cells or the germ cells. So process of mitosis is a duplication division during which cell divides into two daughter cells with a resemblance, that is daughter cells which are also having similar components as per the parental cell, or the parental cell which divides, or the old cell which divides into two daughter cells. So all the components produced in the daughter cells are similar to the parental cells or the old cells or the divide mother cells. So somatic cells or the germ cells, all type of cells, they undergo the process of mitosis, that is the division of one cell into two daughter cells with a similar chromosome number or with a similar components as that of the parental cell. Then second type of cell division, that is the meiosis, which is the reduction division. So in the process of mitosis, chromosome number is kept constant. So diploid to diploid. So dividing cell is having two set of the chromosomes, and newly formed daughter cells are also having the two set of the chromosomes. So prior to the division of the cell into two daughter cell, the nuclear material is duplicated. The nuclear material or the chromosomal components are duplicated or doubled in its quantity with respect to its number, and then distributed equally in the nucleus of the daughter cells or the newly forming cells. So mitosis is a duplication division, and where the chromosome number is maintained same or kept constant, that is diploid to diploid in the daughter cells. But the meiosis is the reduction division and taking place only in the gonads or the reproductive cells or the gamete mother cells, that is oogonia and spermatogonia of the female gonad and the male gonad. They undergoes the process of meiosis, that is reduction division, during which the chromosome number of the daughter cells or the gametes is reduced to half. So diploid number becomes haploid number in the dividing cells or the gametes. So the gonads or the reproductive cells or the germ cells, they undergo the process of meiosis and producing haploid gametes having single set of the chromosomes in the cells or the gametic cells on fertilization, which will come together or unite together. uh, the two set of the chromosomes of the two gametes of a species come together to form two set of the chromosomes in the zygotic nucleus or in the plant seeds, and which again germinate or which again develop into new plants or the new animals with the same previous diploid number of the species in the newly forming organism. So meiosis is the reduction division and is meant for or responsible for maintaining the same chromosome number of the species generation to generation. So this is what about the syllabus of the cell biology. So in this paper we are going to study these uh, 7 topics, such as introduction to cell, definition or different branches of cell biology, then its applications in the industries, then different type of cells, prokaryotic cell, eukaryotic cells, or their structures and functions. Then second topic is techniques in cell biology where we are going to study different type of microscopes and stents or the technique like micrometry so as to measure the size of the cells. So as to study proper study of the cells, there needs the equipments either in the form of microscopes or the coloring agents like stents, which we are going to study in second topic. Third topic is study of plasma membrane, including fluidomosaic model proposed by the Singer and Nicholson. Then next topic is transport across membrane. So there are different type of biomolecules which are transported or um, provided to the into the cells or to the outside of the cells through the different methods of transport, active passive transport or endocytosis, phagocytosis, or different functions of the cell membrane such as protection, cell recognition, then maintaining shape of the cell or the storage of the different components of the cell, then cell signaling, so which are thus various important functions of the cell membrane. Then cell junction, tight junctions, gap junctions of the desmosomes, which are the channels or either a space between the cells, adjacent cells, which is also performing important role of the transport in the cells or the tissues. Then next topic is nucleus. So where we are going to study the structure of nucleus and various parts, nuclear envelope, pore complex, nucleoplasm or nucleolus, or different type of chromatins such as euchromatin, heterochromatin, and lastly the functions of nucleus. Then next topic which we are going to study on endomembrane system, that is structure, location and function of the important endomembrane components or the organelles, that is endoplasmic reticulum, then Golgi bodies, lysosomes and the vacuoles. Then next topic, that is mitochondrion and peroxisomes, that is the study of mitochondrion, its ultrastructure and the function of energy metabolism or synthesis of energy. Then function of peroxisome, that is neutralization of the peroxides into the harmless substances like oxygen or the water. Then last topic, that is cell division, where we are going to study 4 points, that is introduction, then cell cycle, mitosis and meiosis. So with this, today we'll stop here, and next time we will continue with the first topic or first chapter, that is introduction to cell biology, next time. Till then, bye. Thank you.